Hi guys, Crystal here with Conquest Army, and today I just want to take a quick second to share my story with you and all the things that have kind of happened in my life that have led up to this moment in time. And I'm hoping that by sharing this with you, that if my story resonates with somebody or you identify with it, that you'll reach out to me and that I can help you regain your confidence and self-esteem, just like I've kind of done for myself. So that's the whole point behind this today. Where to start? Let's see. My story starts when I was a teen. I was your typical party girl. I did a lot of drinking, a lot of drugging, a lot of sleeping around, which is not necessarily something I'm proud of, but looking back on it, I know I did those things because I had really low self esteem. I had no respect for myself, and a lot of the things that had happened in my life had just made me feel completely worthless and like if I didn't love myself, then nobody else would. So what was the point? Who cares what happens to Crystal? And so I kind of just lived my life by that motto. And it was really hard for a long time because not having a sense of self worth, I put myself in so much danger. And I just really treated myself poorly. And it really makes me sad to think that I had such little self worth when I look back. But I did, and a lot of that stemmed just from the things that had happened. When I was 17, my parents got a divorce, and that was really hard on me. My whole family structure, your support system that you have from a child, just kind of came crashing down around me. One minute my mom was there, and then 3 days later she was gone. Her bags were gone. She was packed. She hugged me goodbye, and I remember in that moment, feeling nothing. It's like I went numb. I just didn't feel anymore, and I swore to myself that day that I would never let anyone else hurt me the way that I had been hurt in that moment. And I don't think I felt again for a really long time. Not until I met my husband Mike a couple years later when I had moved to Tucson. Up until the time that I met him, I just had no self respect and I just didn't care about me or what happened to me. And I lived a very dangerous life, uh, doing the things and partying the way that I was, especially for somebody as young as I was. I didn't graduate high school because of it. It's something I truly regret. I didn't get to walk down with my friends. And, looking back on it, those are the times in your life when you're supposed to be doing all these things and just being a kid. And I just felt like I wasn't a kid at that time in my life, that I I got lost and I felt abandoned and alone and scared, but I was too proud to admit it to anybody. And so I just kind of suffered quietly to myself. I was battling a very deep depression. I contemplated suicide many times during before I met my husband, and ultimately my grandmother reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to move to Tucson. And I am so thankful that she did that because if she wouldn't have done that, I honestly do not think I would be sitting here today making this video and trying to help other people, because I think I would have gotten lost in that crowd and I don't know if I would have made it out alive, especially on the road that I was heading. So that's a little scary. And I've actually never admitted that to another person. So this is kind of a first for me too. So I hope that you'll hang in here with me as I keep going. So fast forward to when I moved to Tucson and I met Mike, and things started to look better, but I still didn't have that self worth. I still didn't have any self esteem. I still felt worthless on the inside. I just did a really good job of covering it with a smile on the outside. Just because somebody's smiling all the time doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy on the inside. And I was living proof of that. I did a really good job of pretending that I'm awesome and everything's awesome and yay life, but on the inside I was crippled with depression and anxiety and fear and guilt. I felt a lot of guilt for leaving Spokane and leaving my baby brother there, and leaving my parents there because I knew I had ran away from them. And I had, at that time in my life, I had felt like I was responsible for putting the family back together, and I couldn't do that, and I felt completely worthless. So cue the weight gain, right? Because you meet this nice guy who treats me nice and makes me laugh, and now I feel guilty because it's like, why are you depressed? You have this great boyfriend and you have this new life, and I was still miserable. So I ate because he made me happy. And we actually had money to eat because I'd been homeless for 2 years before that. So I never ate any food. I just kind of ate what I could find. So I started eating fast food with him. And, before I knew it, I packed on 60 pounds in, 6 months, if that. I quit a job that I really liked because I was gaining weight and I knew they were going to fire me because I was gaining weight. Because you can't gain weight at that job. At the time, I was working at Hooters. So, and I felt it coming. I felt the eyes watching me as my hips got wider and wider. So, as these eyes were watching me, I ate more because I felt bad about me and I had no self respect and no self esteem. So I ate more and more and I just kept gaining and gaining. And then I had stretch marks that set in on my legs that I'd never seen before, which just drove my self worth down even further. And this vicious cycle went on for, gosh, at least 4 years there for a while. And looking back on it, I am just so thankful that I had my husband at the time was my boyfriend there by my side because I don't know if he realizes just exactly how much he helped me and what it means to me that he stuck by me through all of that when I didn't believe that anybody would ever want to stick by me. When you go through all those things and you've had so many people kind of just turn their back on you and you've experienced being alone and scared and sleeping in a car for that long, when somebody grabs your hand and says, I'm going to stick by you, I'm going to stay with you, I kind of was like, oh yeah, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. And he he proved me wrong because he's still here. We're married now, so he's not going anywhere. But um anyways, the weight continued to gain, and one night we were sitting on the couch, and an infomercial for P90X came on, and he looks at me and he goes, "Why don't we give that a shot? I know you want to lose weight," and he had gained some weight himself. New relationships will do that to you, gain 20, 30 pounds. It's not uncommon. And I said, "Okay, well, let's give it a try. If that's what you want to do, I'll do it too." And we got P90X and we failed miserably. We did, I think, 2 or 3 workouts and it didn't last. We were both too sore. We came up with excuse after excuse on why we didn't want to do it, why we didn't need to do it, why we didn't have time to do it. And I think looking back on it, I didn't realize this is what I was doing until I had gone to the Beachbody Coach Summit and Carl Deichler had said, a lot of people are afraid of success. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was afraid of success. I was afraid of feeling anything but depression and anxiety because I'd almost gotten comfortable and okay with feeling that way and kind of doing the pity party in my head. The woe is me party had become, routine for me. So the thought of being anything else than that was like, yeah, fucking right. That's not for me. Other people do those things. Other people buy Beachbody products and get results. Other people change their lives and become positive. And it was just that negative chatter in my head all the time saying, you can't do it. You'll never do it. You'll never be anything but that, little slut from Spokane who's drug addicted. We all know your past, and that's who you'll always be. You'll always be your past. And I believed that for a really long time. And it wasn't until recently that something inside me just clicked. I think it was I just had enough. Enough was enough. I was tired of living my past. I was tired of letting it control me. And I was tired of not living my life to the full potential because it was in that moment that I realized that I deserved more and that I should be more. And it was up to me to make that change to do that. So that's what I did is I made a commitment to myself and I got a new program because P90X just I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't really for me. So I got my hands on a copy of Chalene Extreme and I did that. And Chalene says in her video, she says, you're a machine. Say it to yourself. I am a machine. So that's how I started. I started telling myself every day, I am a machine. I can do this. I am a machine. I can do this. And I would say that to myself, crying as I could barely lift, curl 10-pound weights because I had done so many fad diets by this point that I had zero muscle mass. I mean, none. I'd done HCG, wrapping, pills, fasting, water diets, no carb diets. I've done every fad diet under the sun, and none of them gave me the results that I wanted. So, Beachbody just felt like this is my last option. Diet and exercise is the only thing I have not tried up to this point. So, I need to give it my all and give it a try. So that's what I did. I tried it and I got good results, but old habits die hard, and I fell right back into those old habits of fast food and drinking and gained just about all the weight back and kind of fiddled around with that for a little while. And then my husband, or Mike, proposed to me on my birthday. And of course, I said yes. I had been waiting for that man to propose to me since the day I met him. 6 years later, he finally did it. And one of the first things I said was, I want to get in shape for my wedding. I want to look good for my wedding. I want to feel good on the inside just as much as I want to look good on the outside. So there was this program that was getting ready to launch, who Mike was a very big fan of this trainer, P90X2, launched that January. And Mike said, he's like, we're going to do this. We're going to do it together. I'm going to help you. And he wasn't kidding. He got up every day at 3:30 in the morning, made our pre-workout, woke me up. Well, first he did his workout, then he woke me up, and then he watched me do my workout and called me out every time I was slacking off, every time I was whining. He held me accountable to those workouts in a way that I never held myself accountable. And quite honestly, at that point in my life, I was not capable of holding myself accountable to the workouts. I needed him to hold me accountable to those workouts. So he did, and it paid off because after we completed P90X2, not only did I feel better mentally, I felt stronger. I kept saying to myself during those workouts, do your best, forget the rest. I am a machine. I can do this. I'm doing this so I can look good for my wedding. I just kept repeating my why, my why. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want to be a better person on the inside. I want to look good on the outside, and I want to feel good on the inside. So that's what I did. And at the end of P90X2, I was very happy. I'd lost 15 pounds, 10 and a half inches. I went from a size 12 to a size 8 for my wedding, and it was amazing. I felt good. I looked good. I was happy. I was still struggling a little bit on the inside with the depression and the anxiety, but those are kind of beasts that you don't just, you just don't get over those. Those are things that you work on every day. And even today, sometimes I still feel like I every now and then have a hint of it, but I've figured out how to cope with it and how to move forward with my life without medication, but just with positive thinking, and diet and exercise has played a really big part for me. So, P90X2 is really what got it started. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. The next workout came out, and, I did Insanity, I did Asylum, Volume 1, I did Turbo Fire, I did Les Mills Combat. I recently just finished up P90X3, which I absolutely loved. I did 21 Day Fix, and right now I'm locking it down with PiYo, which is phenomenal. I love PiYo. I love Shalene. That is my girl. Um, that woman, even though she's just there on the TV screen, she changed my life, and I'm really thankful for that. I promised myself I wouldn't cry in these videos because everybody cries, right? But I'm really thankful that I found it because I have self-worth again. I feel like I'm worth something again. And it feels really good to look in the mirror and to not hate who I see anymore, and to know that I'm worth it. I'm I'm worth it. I'm worth of being loved, and my past and those mistakes don't define me. And I am not that person anymore. I am a new person who is happy and who's healthy and who is rocking this body that I'm working so hard on. And it's only a matter of time before I fit in that white bikini that I'm so desperately working towards. But um, I guess the main point of all this is that Beachbody really helped me find my self-worth and my self-value because it pushed me to the limits and it forced me to be stronger with each workout. It made me work harder, and ultimately it was up to me to push myself, but I wanted to, I had to commit. I had to get an accountability partner, which luckily for me was my husband. But I also had a Beachbody coach who I talked to as well, and who kind of helped me through a lot of this, who reminded me that I could do it, who helped me with my nutrition, and who, gave me tough love when I needed it and asked the hard questions like, are you really holding yourself accountable, or are you giving yourself a free pass? Because, of course, I'm going to give myself a free pass like every time. But, it really helped me transform my life. That's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I chose to become a coach, was because I want to pay it forward. I want to help somebody else who feels like they don't have self-worth, or who's struggling with depression, who has no self-esteem, to regain that confidence. Because when you regain it, you feel so much better. You realize that you have so much to offer. And if I can just help one person with this video, and if this video just speaks to even one person out there, then it was worth it. All the tears, all the headaches, all the self-doubt, all the 4 a.m. workouts were absolutely worth it, because you know what? You're worth it, and I'm worth it. And life is better when you accept that, and you regain your self-esteem, and you see your potential. So that's my story. That's where I started. This is where I'm at today. And I really hope that you will give me the opportunity to help you along your journey. That is if you feel you connect with me, of course. If not, check out Mike's video because maybe you connect with him. But thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for allowing me to put myself out there. And I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.